Hey everybody, it's Sunday at 9:25 a.m. on August 27, 2023. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Red Dragon. Here's a video by Mr. MBB333, very compelling video of something near the sun. Okay, there's other people that have been talking about, this other object. And remember Nibiru's Planet X. When you think about Planet X, the X is our DNA, the DNA strand. The DNA is a serpent snake because our DNA strand looks like a serpent snake. Okay. Or it could be like a representation because it's a serpent and a dragon is a serpent. And in China, they have a red dragon that's a long red dragon. Its body is long like a snake. Okay. So I want to talk about right here for this video right here where it shows right up here by the sun. Here's the sun right here, and right up above the sun is this image right here.
Because you can see them. There is actually something else up there.
He loses focus here.
Lost it. It's not a lens flare.
Yeah, you can see the lens flare.
Lens flares, you can see them.
Because they're moving around.
This is not a lens flare.
And as you heard Patrick say during the video, he was very adamant that these were not lens flares.
Yeah, see right here, this is the lens flare right here because when he starts it, this one moves. It's the lens flare off that. So there's something right there, and then there's something right there as well that's pretty huge that he was trying to focus in on. So there's something there, and there's another big something behind the sun coming around the sun as well. And it's really quite interesting when you look at these colors, how much of the halo coming off whatever's back there. Very interesting. And the yellowness of it, that's quite interesting as well.
These next two segments are simply modified versions of about 10 seconds of the video that was very...
See how that other lens flare from that floats around down here?
Still, I simply inverted the light. Light is dark, dark is light.
Oh, there it is. Oh, let's go back again. I think I've seen it. Right there. Yeah, you can see it right there. Right there, there's something. So there's something right there, and there's something right there as well. Fascinating, right? Okay, and then somebody else, the same day, different location, different person, 14 minutes apart. Okay, this is 14 minutes earlier. This is August 5th. And so let's see if we can get up here to the sun. This one was at 10:34 a.m. on August 5th. You can see that right there above the sun. And then this one that this guy's doing, 14 minutes on the same day, it shows it's right here by the sun. There it goes. Right there by the sun. See how it's peeking out? Very interesting, right? Okay. So let's go back here. The Simpsons. The Simpsons were showing us in this clip right here of the red dragon coming down and burning everything up. Do you remember at Alice in Wonderland, red dragon, the Red Queen, Wonderland, dragon. Alice slayed the dragon once. Right here. The Red Queen with the red dragon. It's just very interesting, right? Okay. The Jabberwocky. So the Simpsons got that, and they show all these predictions that are happening. I think it was at the beginning of this one where it says the predictions. So let's pop this one on.
Rise in expense of living.
I think they start out with it. Because see, now they got China, or I think it's China or the Soviet Union. It's kind of interesting because remember the Trojan horses? Remember on I Pet Goat 2, if you haven't watched that, you see the tanks coming out. Remember on I Pet Goat 2, all the tanks are rising up, coming in a straight line. It's kind of like this, in a straight line. So it's a Trojan horse, or like a red herring. Kind of interesting because Trump's son is called Barron, and Barron is a red herring. Then it shows the SOPA. This is kind of interesting because I showed a while back about the economics magazine that shows the family sitting on the couch. Well, now it shows the couch going out here into space, and then they follow the couch out into the space, or the SOPA. I wonder if the SOPA, let's see if I can find that. If my system picks it up here, come on, speed it up. Maybe it's not going to work. Okay, so, oh, here it goes. Okay, let's go to downloads. Neighbor kids upstairs. My goodness. Okay, I don't think it's in downloads. Wait a minute. It might be. Yeah, here it is. Right here, you see the sofa right here, and it shows the family sitting on the sofa. And then they got their mask on. Quite interesting because I forgot about this one where the asteroid is coming into Earth. That's interesting. Because remember, these are like, this is the next catastrophe, The Economist, that was published on June 27th through July 3rd of 2020. And remember what started in 2020. And quite interesting. So you got the pig over here known as the swine, like the swine, you know what I'm talking about, viruses. And so we got plagues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7 plagues or the 7 plaques, right? Interesting. But what I don't see here, I wonder if that's considered a red dragon coming into the Earth. Oh, that's interesting. Now that I was thinking about it. Let's see here. Now we go back here, and then you got the sofa right here, and the family coming to sit on the sofa. So let's turn up the volume. Oh, and then they point back to Earth, and then they go back to Earth, but it's an upgraded Earth that looks like it's hologram. Okay, so where's the part about, oh, here's the part about the beer. Oh, yeah, because there's a part in here I think that's very important about Trump as well. This is where that might be Kamala Harris being in that position, but I'm not too sure. So right here, the robot dogs. Remember in Singapore and I think China, and there was a couple of other places. I think New York tried it out too with these robot dogs. And I think on the Kingsman, one of the Kingsman movies, with the red poppies. Check out the Kingsman movie too. And the woman that shreds the meat of the people, the flesh of the people, and feeds it back to him is she's got red hair as well, and they take her out with some type of shot. So here's Duff. Remember Duff beer, if I can find it. See, this is quite interesting because vote, and it says paid. I never realized, I thought they all said vote. And when I look back here and I see where it says paid, and then seeing how much, he's the trouble that he's in right now. That's quite interesting because it's kind of like saying that Trump has somehow paid people to fill up his stadium, make it look like it. Isn't that interesting? That's my perception. And then Duff Beer, there's something going on with Duff Beer here. Interesting. Coach. I wonder if coach or couch. I don't know. There's something interesting about this. But let's go back here. Oh, I wanted to show you. Where's it at? The Simpsons. The Red Dragon. Oh, they even showed the police station in that prediction too, and how they blew up the police station. And then you have the Red Dragon right here setting the whole land on fire. And remember, I think it was a couple of years ago, California got burnt down to the ground really bad. And I think Oprah Winfrey had property there as well. And then in Revelations, we have the Whore of Babylon. Revelation 17, the 17th letter is Q. Q is like the queen, the devil's church. China is known as the Red Dragon. This is why I think they're using Russia as a red herring. And I think that China might be striking because they were just put out a newscast yesterday on Facebook about how China is already in the United States right now, and they have this land. They have land everywhere, but they have their military land, so you can't get in. Some lady was like, you can't even get on their property or anything to check out what they're doing here. So they got their own like police force, which is quite interesting how that's allowed, and their laws and stuff. But I think it's quite interesting about this Red Dragon because with this Red Dragon. So you guys have seen that, so you got that idea. The Whore of Babylon is the devil's church, consists of all organizations not associated with the followers of Christ or that are against his followers. Ultimately, the Whore of Babylon's fate is to be destroyed in the last days. So she's the Red Dragon in some mostly cultures is considered the devil. The prostitute. So 17, Revelation 17, we'll go to that right here. One of the seven angels who had the seven bowls and said to me, come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sits by many waters. Now think of the great prostitute. Think about all the whoremongering that's going on, all the slut, all the porn, all the cussing, all the music, all the movies. I remember I was telling you how since the 1990s in the music, in the videos, everything is started cuss words, cursing, a lot of foul language, a lot of shooting, guns being brought into the picture, violence. You had the video games. Everybody's addicted to the video games and killing people, running down people. And then you see it coming in our reality. People are actually doing the things that are happening in the video games. So again, I just wanted to point that out. Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sits by many waters. Okay, so if we look at the United States, you got the Pacific, you got the Atlantic, and down below you have whatchamacallit, the New Mexico, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. It's down by Texas, whatever that. areas down there. So by many waters, you can look at that too. With her, the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. Right? Then the angel carried me away into the spirit into the wilderness. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names and had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet. That's kind of interesting because when you look at Queen Elizabeth, she was dressed that way too. And who knows if she's really dead, right? Perhaps that she give up her throne just so her son could become king during the last days. Quite interesting, right? The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet. Remember, King Charles was just recently dressed in purple and scarlet and was glittering with gold and precious stones and pearls. And she held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. The name written on her forehead was a mystery. You know, if we look at King Charles's wife, whatever her name is, Babylon the Great, the mother of the prostitutes and of the abomination of the earth. I saw the woman was drunk with blood of God's holy people and the blood of those who bore testimony to Jesus. When I saw her, I was greatly astonished. Then the angel said to me, "Why are you astonished? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast she rides, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and yet will come up out of the abyss and go to its destruction. The inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because it once was, now is not, and yet will come." This calls for the mind and wisdom. Mind and wisdom. Remember, the Holy Scripture gives us wisdom and knowledge. That's pretty much what the Holy Scripture is about wisdom and knowledge. Okay, the 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits, because remember, it's written in a parable, kind of like a riddle or a myth, a story. And then when you look at Bible, the term Bible, B-I, or bi, means 2. So it's like the yin and yang, 2 fish, or the 2 atoms, or the positive and negative. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, the beast who was once, okay. Then the 10 horns you saw are the 10 kings who have not yet received the kingdom, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast. They have one purpose and will give their power and authority to the beast. They will wage war against the Lamb, but the Lamb will triumph over them, because the Lord, he is the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, and with him will be his called, chosen, and faithful followers. Then the angels, what happened? Then the angel said to me, "The waters you saw where the prostitutes sit are the people." Okay, so this is the mystery. The prostitutes sit are the people, the multitudes, the nations, and the languages. The beasts and the 10 horns you saw will hate the prostitute. They will bring her to ruin and leave her naked. They will eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God has put into their hearts to accomplish his purpose by agreeing to hand over the beast the royal authority until God's words are fulfilled. The woman you saw in the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. After this, I saw another angel coming down from heaven. He had great authority, and the earth illuminated with his splendor. With mighty voice he shouted, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling for demons and a haunt for every impure spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable animal. For all the nations have drunk and maddened wine of her adulteries. The kings of the earth committed adultery with her, and merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries. Warning to escape Babylon's judgment. Then I heard another voice from the heaven, "Come out of her, my people, so that you may not share in her sins." Oh, come out of her means stop doing what she's doing, so that you may not receive any of her plagues. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes. Give back to her as she has given. Pay her back double for what she has done. Pour her a double portion for her own cup. Give her as much torment and grief as the glory and luxury she gave herself. In her first heart she boasts, "I sit enthroned as queen. I am not a widow." Oh, interesting. In her heart she boasts, "I sit enthroned as queen. I am not a widow. I will never mourn." These are like clues right there. Therefore, and one day her plagues will overtake her, death, mourning, and famine. She will be consumed by fire, for mighty is the Lord God who judges her. So I sit enthroned as queen. I am not a widow. Is Queen Elizabeth a widow? I will never mourn, because she didn't mourn when Queen Elizabeth or Princess Diana passed away or anything. You don't see her mourn. I don't think I've ever seen Queen Elizabeth cry at all. There are many, one of her plagues. So I wonder if Queen Elizabeth was a, oh, and here you got the Nibiru red dragon, where it looks like a red dragon, right? And I think it's even on the Egyptian wall artifacts where they have this like circle and they have these wings that come out like that as well. I wonder if I could show that sometime. It says Nibiru was forced into elliptical orbit. I think I did this video about Scooby-Doo Incorporated where they were talking about Nibiru's coming, ah! And then they say you must get rid of that, the sarcophagus, right? The sarcophagus, right? If that was in Scooby-Doo that I showed you, I think last week or whatever. But that sarcophagus is like the bad Anunnaki that's within us all. And it's surrounded by jewels and gold and luxury. So it's like sitting like with the kings, right? The power of, in this world, we're told not to, have a need for gold and silver to store up our treasures up in heaven. Remember, because Jesus was telling them to give up everything they got, telling the kings of the earth to give up what they got and give back to the people and follow God, right? And follow him. But that doesn't, if you look at our reality, you got Trump that lives in a palace of gold and, his wealth, and you got Biden's crime family that's swindling money from everywhere. And plus there's many others before them, like the Bush family, I'm sure, and others that are still in office right now and then all over the world as well. So, because you got to think about Saudi Arabia and all those princes and stuff, and what they do. And then China as well. So many conspiracy theorists and doomsday prophet exist. So every 3,600 years. So they're predicting this to come back in AD 2900, but it's already here. I think even in scripture it says, if it wasn't for the elect, time had to be cut short for the electors. Something about the elector, nothing would have survived. Something about humanity, nothing would have survived, or something to that effect. So that's quite interesting. So the whore of Babylon, so we pretty much see the images of her, right? She's on a red dragon right there. It's quite interesting because it even shows like a pope's image of this 7-head red dragon. Or being the devil, that kind of like symbolism. the whore of Babylon. Yeah, that's the image right there, where she's holding this. So there must be some type of other queen or female out there. Then is the red Kachina approaching Nibiru, Planet X, and the brown dwarf. Um, on this one, there is perhaps no better prophecy of one of the high integrating and traditions of the indigenous people. One of America's prediction ending is called the red Kachina. So I'll put this link in. Then you got Leviathan, which is known as Satan, the red dragon, the sea serpent, the mythology, right? Then I was looking, I was like, oh, there's Leviticus. I wonder if it's the third book of Moses, but it's about the laws and stuff like that. How the priests are supposed to keep the laws. But the Torah and the Pentateuch is named after Levites, the clan of Levi, who were selected by God to oversee the religious laws. It contained details of laws of how the Israelites should be in the holy nation and set apart from other people, how God's instructions for sacrifice and offerings. Okay, so then you got King Charles or King George the Sixth. He's known as the Red Dragon as well. There's one image in here I wanted to share with you. If I can speed it up here because I'm talking so long, but you can kind of see the symbology of what is being said. Okay, and then you got Fergie on Shrek. The dragon in Shrek is a red dragon with green eyes. She initially is an antagonist in charge of keeping Princess Fiona in her castle, but later reforms to help Shrek to supporting protagonist. Her name is Fergie. She also is in love with Donkey. Now, if you think of Donkey, Donkey is the Democrat Party. Interesting, right? China, the red dragon, right? Here we go. Next year, 2024, is the year of the dragon. So I wanted to mention that. So Saturday, February 10th, 2024 is the year of the dragon. Okay. Then we got all these fires that are happening everywhere. You got Mr. MBB 333, which, the very compelling bit is something near the sun. I think you put this too, showing all the fires as well. And how the animals, this is quite interesting, this video right here. What a strange quick sequence of events where they're trying to tell us. So this bird hung onto the front of this guy's car. It's like a dove bird all the way home. It was kind of a long distance, but he didn't fly off or anything. He stayed there the whole time and he went home with him. But you see how he's sitting on the car? It's quite interesting because remember that song by the Pet Shop Boys, I've got the brains, you got the looks, let's make lots of money. So it's like saying the soul, the guy that's driving the car, and the bird is actually the silver soul. And the guy in the car is actually us in the physical form. So it's like our soul, our spirit and soul are combined as one. Interesting, right? Okay, I'll end this real quick because I'm about 28 minutes here. But everything is happening around us. We just kind of got to figure it out and piece it together about this red dragon symbology and, what's being played out. And the queen, the red queen, because remember, there's still other queens on this land. Maybe it's a queen that's not very popular or known as well, but they're also talking about the BRICS, the money starting. I think it's on, which kind of interesting because after Trump got jailed or whatever, that's when BRICS announced that they're going to start. I think it's in January 1st or maybe it's September 1st. I think it's January. But anyway, the BRICS are taking over the financial, the money of the world's money. So, of course, people in America are freaking out because they're like, we can't let them do that. But if you think about it, we're already in debt to all these nations and countries, and especially China. And then we got the Democrat Party working with China, just like Canada's working with China. So there's something going on that the people aren't being told. And I think the red dragon could also be like the red phoenix, you know, how you die, you burn your soul, your body dies here, but you're reborn again. And perhaps that's what on iPet Go 2, where it shows him coming up out of the dust. But anyway, I'll end it there. Have a great day, everybody.